I have no idea why the timer didn't go, but the timer did not did not run. It's strange, weird, but anyways, we are live, guys. Mr. Ronnie Braun is in the house again. Oh, okay, I don't have the chat box in the window, so we'll have to post them this way. Yeah, Elvis always used to say that from an undisclosed location. He didn't want anybody to know where he was ever. I don't think I don't really know. I don't think he's actually in. I don't know if he's in the channel anymore. I think he's settled down from compared to what he used to be. Anyways, YouTube probably got after him pretty good, and he doesn't want to jeopardize anything that he has if he does have anything. What is in my throat? I have to keep my arms from getting the screen bobbing up and down. And yeah, the numbers on the top are weird. I mean, I think I know you're in the house, but it shows 0 people, which I don't know why it does that, but that's been doing that with StreamYard or any of them that I've used. They all the count is never right. I don't know why, but so I don't go by that anyway. I don't know why the counter didn't work. It's supposed to start at 10. Hey Bruce, good evening, my friend. How you doing? Armchair Wanderer and Ronnie Braun. Yeah, see there, it still shows 1. No idea why. There was a few lives on tonight, so I thought I seen them all there, and I thought, oh well, from people that I know. And I thought, oh well. And Vicky is in the house. Hope Bus. How's your uh, how's your homecoming? Your bus coming along? I think you must be almost finished. No, ready to go. Final detail. What do you call it? Just the last details to go. Subscribe. It's free, and thumbs up. It's free. It may have flooded. You couldn't get it to start. Oh no. Is it cold there? Did you like? How do you know it's flooded? Did you try to prime it or something? Like too much? That's that's strange. You actually just came in the house. We were. Oh, I don't have the chat window over on the side over there, guys. So I'll have to post them up like so, just so we can read them. If Justin and Christina are in the house. Wow, the numbers are weird. It shows 1. Staining the dinette tables. Oh, wow. Yeah, the finishing touches. Diesel heater number 2, which was plugged up. I put a new pump on it and it worked fine. It's working fine. It mysteriously unplugged. It mysteriously unplugged. Okay, I've got to change the change that color. I don't know why. I just don't like that color. Let's change it to gold. Actually, I was trying to do like what do you call it? Um, that's not the color there, but I usually try to do sandy color. So for you guys, it's easy to read on the side, on the right hand side, what everybody's chatting about, and I can read on the screen too. But I don't know why. I don't know why, but I like it. I like it when the chat window's on the part of the actual video. Oh, I'm burnt. You don't want to see. I need to take my shirt off. You should see how burnt I am. My goodness. And it doesn't take long. I went over to Playa del Carmen, not Playa del Carmen. Well, I went there yesterday, a couple days ago. Um, what do you call it? Isla Mujeres. That's where I got burnt. When you're walking around the town and people, and just you forget about. Um, I had just had my shirt off and walking around. I just forgot about it. And when I got when the day was over and I got back home and I thought, wow, I'm kind of burnt. Oh, my last video there of that was Cancun. I think that's the one you saw, Cancun. Um, why Canadians should come to Cancun. The beach that's right off of, right behind Cocobongo. Like the beaches in Mexico used to be private, where the hotels are. Like if you had a hotel, all the hotels are along the beach front, and that beach was private, so you couldn't go there. But they passed a law that all beaches are public beaches. So the private property starts where the hotel property begins, but you can go on the beach anywhere. So what the hotels do is they put out lounge chairs and things, and they just like 500 pesos is like $25 American, and they got these lounge chairs, lots of them, 20 or 30 per hotel. So there you walk on the beach and you see all these lounge chairs and nobody's on them. So if you go sit on one, somebody from the hotel comes over and says, "Well, you can't just sit here. You have to pay 500 pesos to use that." And then they give you a wristband thing to tell that you've paid. But no wonder they're empty. Nobody's sitting there because they're like 500 pesos, $25. And sometimes they'll have, like in that last video, you'll see there's all different colored lounge chairs with umbrellas. Those is what I'm talking about. Those things. You can't just go and I know they're on the public beach, but you can't just go and sit on those. You have to pay. Let me see if this is keeping up. Get them to work you a weekly deal. Yeah, like the beaches, the sand is not really sand. It's coral, but fine like chalk. Well, not quite as fine as chalk. A little bit coarser than that, but um, and it sticks to you everywhere. So if you sit down or on your feet, it's everywhere. and it's hard to get off. So when you're walking along the beach, you don't dare walk in with your shoes on the beach because the sand will get in there and not good. So you always take your shoes off, but um, then you have to sit for half an hour and get the sand off your feet when you get back to where you need your shoes again. Yeah. Well, usually in the daytime when you look up and it says, well, you look it up on the phone. It says mostly cloud or mostly sunny, or something, and it'll say partially cloudy or something. So you go outside and you look, and there's big clouds all over the place, and yet it's sunny. But the clouds are moving really fast, so it must be pretty windy up there, however high they are. Yeah, this kind of sand is the white coral sand is very, it gets into everything. As a matter of fact, I went, I forgot to take my swim trunks with me, and I figured, well, I have shorts on, I'll just go in with just go in anyway. It'll dry off. And I went in the water and swimming around, doing whatever, and then I come out, and I don't even think I had a towel with me for that time, and I just stand in the sun for a little bit and you're dry. But then I flew the drone a little bit, and um, I took everything out of my pockets, like my camera and my phone and money and what have you, out of my pockets when I went in the water. But when I went to put everything back in my pockets were full of sand. That coral stuff, like, I was completely full of sand, and I didn't sit down in the water. It was standing up, but when you're right where the waves are, it's the sand is like churning up, so it got in my pockets. You prefer the boardwalk? Yeah, the hotels when they put um, their lounges out quite a ways out near the surf. Some of them have long boardwalks just to get out there, but still, it's hard to avoid the sand. First world problems. Yeah, yeah, no kidding. This is just this scene is different from the one that I usually do, like with the chat window on the side. I like the chat window on the side. I don't know why. You can, I don't know. Not everybody's the same. Good thing. So I just put this together real quick just for the pop up, and was just watching TV, or not TV, net prime time, Prime, Amazon Prime. Was watching that a little bit, and I thought, gee, no sense sitting here doing this. I'll go on the computer and go live for a little bit. How have I been? Boy, I'll tell you, like my back. If talk about my back, um, at night, like when I toss and turn at night, I'm a side sleeper, so it's not just like roll over on your back and you sleep that way for a little bit and then roll over on the other side or something. And just turning from one side to the other is sometimes pretty painful. And I thought my back was pretty good. Like in the daytime, it's not bad, but I can tell I'm going to have, like, I can bend over and pick. I'm afraid to pick heavy things up, but I can tell I'm going to have like back problems. I mean, not getting any younger. Yeah, and I hate pain too. I can deal with almost any other thing. It's just the pain. I hate pain with a passion. So when I feel a slightest pain, oh, what's going on? I suppose most people do. They don't like pain, and my back doesn't feel like it was before the accident. That's for sure. That's a definite. But I guess you just have to learn to live with it. That exercise you were talking about, Vicky, that's I used to do that when I had my back surgery for a herniated disc. That was the one. I didn't know that's what you called it, but yeah, that's the kind of exercise that I had to do for that particular, especially when you get cut open like that. You don't ever want to go get surgery of some kind. Cutting you open is not meant to be. Your body puts up like scar tissue, not just a scar where they cut you open. It's scar tissue on the inside that forms around things to try to heal whatever's there. Like they say, when you get a herniated disc and they cut you open, they fix it, whatever that, and then they sew you back up. You obviously going to have a scar where the cut was, but if you don't exercise that area, you're going to get scar tissue on the inside, which could be even worse than the herniated disc in the first place. So that's I tried to, and man, you're in the hospital, you get your surgery, you're all done, and you're out of the hospital in just in days. It's amazing how fast your body can heal. I don't feel the same pain as I did the very first maybe 2 to 3 days. That was pretty painful. Like, I don't know, somebody punched you in the back or something, like a big fish hook in your spine and pulling on you. We're all just lucky to wake up in the morning and take our day for granted. Yeah, I forgot to today, but most days I wake up and I'm awake several times in the night, anyways. But I wake up and I go, "Thank you, Lord, for giving me another day." I guess it all depends on view how you view life, and like heaven and hell. Like, to me, sometimes it seems like go to hell. Hell is already. I'm here already. Hell on earth. This is it. Great mantra to have. Yeah, you wake up and hey, it's great to be alive. Then again, is it? Oh, hey, what do you know? That's working. My timer didn't work when I first started. It just stuck on 11 seconds. It was supposed to count down and then put up the this screen, but it didn't do that. And yet, before I went live, I built it all. It was working. I had to stop the timer. It would just keep going. So at this time, it wouldn't go. So then I had one guy come on. He says, "You always sound like you're testing something." And yeah, well, okay. Did you get your new heater put in, or are you gonna wait till next winter, or what do you got to do? Put the whole heater in, or are you just doing the digital part of it, like the more, I guess more or less the wiring? Well, I guess the whole heater would have to be changed because the motherboard on the heater would probably need to be. Well, I don't know. That's a good question because the motherboard has not got anything to really to do with the controller part. No matter how you feel, or hang on, I can pop up a few. You guys are probably reading that anyways. I can both the text are the same size. I can barely read it. No matter how you feel or how slow you are, you get going. One should always strive to make the most of each day. Yeah, yeah, you're right. And like I went to the beach today, and it was real windy, but I found a kind of a secluded place there. Flew the drone, and then like I said, the private property, they're usually fenced off, or they got some indication of where the property starts and where it ends. And I'm flying my drone, my Avata drone, so I have goggles on, and I'm flying kind of sideways, looking at the property of the hotel. And this Avata drone is pretty loud. And then I flew up out over the sand, and the lounge chairs there. And the guy, one of the workers he comes over and he's whistling at me and he says, "You," in Spanish, I mean, I know what he was saying. He's saying you can't fly on the property. So I told him in English. I said, "Yeah, I know, I know that," and I pointed over some other direction. I said, "I'm flying over there, where is where I was." You're going to wait till you get back to Canada before installing the new Abasto. Oh, okay, where it's colder. And then Ronnie was, I don't know if he's still in the house, but he was having he's got, I think, two heaters. He was having problems with over flooding. He said it was flooding, too much fuel or something. And then he had another one that had some sort of problem. He put a new pump on it, and that's what seemed to help. But I don't know. I'm thinking that these diesel heaters, if you just once they're working, just leave them alone. They'll work fine. It's when you start to baby them or do things with them, as when they start doing funny things and what have you. Mine, I had problems with the connector, the plug-in with all the wires, maybe 8 wires or whatever in there. Um, when you start it up and shut down, the wires when it's going gets hot. The wires are hot, well, warm, and then when they shut off, they're cool, so they expand and contract. And you do this several times, and before you know it, the connection is not the greatest, and sometimes the unit won't come on, or what have you, or it'll just act funny. So I had problems with that, and I replaced that connector part. Just went to an electronics store and bought a new male female connector thing and wired it up myself. And that's where you'll have problems in the connector, if at all anything. So that'll be after April. Okay, after April. Probably just when I'm going back. Going back in May. May the 5th is when I'll be going back. Oh, that's what I was watching, the one about the table. I wanted to put, see, I have two holes in my floor, big holes with the where you put the big pipe in and put the tables on that. but I never use those because they're in the way. You can't leave them set up like that. So I often thought I need to do with with the pipe, and but there's no place really for me to put where I want to stand it up. I don't have anything right close there. My bed is not handmade. It's like my bed is a cotton bed with well, I do have a big s- foam on top, but I don't get any problems with moisture on the bed because I'm not it's not on a board like most beds have to be like on a board. And if I ever built one, I wouldn't put a board on there. I would put like sofa strapping, canvas strapping, and then put. Uh, and there's that stuff you can buy that's like it's not like that fake grass, but it's like that. It's pretty thick, and if you put your foam rubber on top of that, at least you'll have an air space in there. And run it as high on high as much as possible to clean out the burn chamber. Yeah, you should do that anyways. Every now and again, just turn it on high just before you turn it off, and burn out anything that's in there. And like a few years ago, I think I made a video of it too. I can't remember now. I think I did. Um, People were saying something about soot buildup. Well, if you burn anything other than diesel fuel, you're probably going to get soot buildup. Like some guys would burn vegetable type of oils uh, used, like French fry, smell like fries in your van. But anyway, if you burn other things other than what's they recommend, I mean, you're going to get that. But so I thought, but I was only burning diesel. Ever only burnt diesel in mine. But I thought, I should open mine up and have a look inside there. So I think it's 8 or 9 bolts, and the whole thing comes apart. So I took it all apart and looked inside and tapped on it. Absolutely nothing fell out of there. Nothing came out. It was perfect. And I used to like just some not all not every time, but sometimes at when I was ready to shut it off or turn it off for a while or whatever, I would put it on high, and it would get nice and toasty in the van. But I'd put it on high for a while, and that would burn out anything that's in there. So I never had any problems with soot at all. And then one of my friends had problems with way too much fuel was being pumped in for some reason. He got somebody to look at it for him, and what he did was in the programming uh, you could tell it to oh, excuse me there for a moment. The house next door here is vacant. People moved out on the first, well, on the last day of last month, and it's been vacant ever since. It looks like some people uh, may have rented it. I see the people moving in and out there. So the people there's dogs all over here, all up and down the street. And once they get going, they're all barking. They're barking right now. But next door neighbors had a small dog too, and he'd have to join in, of course. And the walkway for the dog was just uh, 10, 15 feet away. and if I was editing a video and I'm doing talking, well, the microphone picked that up real easy, and I couldn't. I have to wait till a dog stops. That was hilarious. I could go out there and do like a uh, orchestra a conductor. I'll go out there with a little stick as an orchestra and get the dog. I can get the dogs going just by walking near them. And once one gets, they'll all start going. And I could go da 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 and get them all going. Make it a short video. I don't. I have seen stray dogs here. Um, Not a lot like I heard about, but uh, Santos, my one of my driver with the dental driver, he said, "Let me tell you a story about the dogs." He said, "Not this part of town, but there is a part of town where there's a lot of stray dogs, and what they do is people use dogs as not necessarily pets. They use them as a deterrent for, I guess, I don't know why, for thieves. Like all the places are gated with iron gates and pointed things on the top, and it's hard to get. Even the windows and everything are all iron gates on them. It's pretty hard to get into these places. But they would get a dog as probably like a doorbell. Um, you come near the place and the dogs would bark. And then when they decide that they don't want to rent there anymore and they want to move somewhere else, they just move. They leave the dogs there. Then they just let them go, and now they're a stray dog. And here I've seen one pack of 5 dogs or so. Um, they just eat garbage or whatever they can get their. I was going to say get their hands on, well, whatever they can get. Um, some places I see that some people put out food and water for them, you know, but I don't. Those kind of dogs are not really pets, and a lot of them are like pit bull type dogs. Daryl, my goodness, Daryl, I was watching your video there um, with your problems with your truck there. Yeah, holy smokes, eh? Incredible. I'd be frustrated too. Let me tell you. I don't remember if I've had a problem like that, but like where you take something and then it's not up to par when they're finished, and then having to redo it or take it somewhere else. Has rust on the door. Oh, okay. Well, that you can. What are you getting it? Getting somebody to get rid of the rust for you? Yeah, best to catch it before it gets like all the way through or too deep. Um, I don't know what they do. Grind it off, sand it off, or whatever they do to it, and then coat it with something so that it doesn't get rusty again. Um, my van is not rusty on the. Well, it probably is on the body somewhere underneath there, but the everywhere else it's rusty underneath there. And I had when I was in Vancouver there last year, no, year before last, um, I had a hot water pump. Yeah, the hot water, the water pump went, and I had a hard time finding anybody that would fix that on that vehicle. They they didn't want to lay on the ground and fix it. They wanted to hoist it up in the air, and then a lot of them didn't have the proper hoist or whatever to get it up there. And I said, well, in Medicine Hat, they would just lay on the ground and do it, or they have a pit where they, you know. But anyways, I could reach inside. I could, if I lift the hood up and grab the fan blade, I could wiggle it back and forth. It was that loose, and I thought, wow, if 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 it ever gave out, that thing would fly off and chew up things. I was pretty lucky. And then I took it to finally one guy said, okay, we'll do this. It was in North Van. I took it in, and he looked at the radiator, looked inside, and he said, wow, we'll flush out your system. It's pretty rusty looking. We'll flush that out for you and put new antifreeze in and what have you. And I said, oh, good. So then the job got done. I went to pick it up, and I before I'd even started it, I looked inside to see what the water was looking like, and it was still rusty. And he said, "Oh, that'll that'll circulate." And yeah, sure. Anyways, then I went back to Alberta, and 6 months later, the same thing happened. My water pump went, and I took it to a place there, and they put a new water pump in, and they flushed the system. As a matter of fact, I just happened to be sitting in the office at the time, and he says, "Come on out and have a look at the water coming out of your." And they were flushing it in, and it was coming out nice and clear. So I knew it was being done this time. And then they put some new antifreeze in, but at least I knew the flushing was done properly. And they said, no, that thing was never flushed before. So they did a real good job. I don't think I think they just took the pump in Vancouver there. They just took the pump off and put the new one on. And I think they got away with you didn't have to take the radiator off or anything. Was able to get at it. But yeah, that was my experience that I had. What else did I have? I had something. Uh, Maybe that's what it was. It started as a knocking, and I went to Canadian Tire, and they crawled underneath and looked, and they said there's those rubber bottom out rubber things. I don't know what you call them, where when you go over a bump, that they would hit the rubber if it, if your shocks weren't the greatest. And that's what the problem was. I guess the shocks weren't the greatest, and that rubber. He said, "Wow, you've got to get that looked at. You're bottoming out." And oh no, it was because when I turned all the way one way, all the way the other, like all the way, and then hit the gas and the brake, then it would make a noise. Nobody knew what that was. And then my friend, who's not a mechanic at all, he says, "Well, that's when you turn your wheel all the way one way, there's a metal on metal stopper thing. That's what's making that noise." And that's what it was. So, anyway, I tried to get my vehicle hoisted up to either, they said they can't replace those rubber bumper things. You have to get new shocks or to get it up or put those things in the springs to make it higher up and what have you. And I went through several different Canadian tires in Vancouver there and Westminster, all over the place there, and they said they can't lift me up. That was a problem with that thing. It's a 1 ton vehicle, but I mean, the height had nothing to do with it. I don't know why that nobody wanted to work on it. I guess so. That was an experience. And then when I brought it back to the hat, that knocking when you turn all the way, the one he said, well, when you do that, he got out and looked as I was doing it. I can see rust falling down when it's doing that. Well, it's because it's metal on metal, and you're um, turning your wheel too far. Not too far, but that you're hitting hitting the end stroke or the end of it. I thought, holy wow, what a noise. It's all good now, though. Well, it is a 1995. It's old, let me tell you. What is that? 25, 30, well, 23, 23 and 33 years old. It's an oldie. I don't know if I'd trust it to go all the way across Canada again, but it's a mechanical thing. I mean, you fix, you replace, replace things, and it should be good. The engine on that thing is probably still pretty good. It's mine is a 318, and I don't know. I read somewhere or heard somebody was saying a 318 was one of the best engines ever built, ever made. That anyway. Let me just see if some of these work. Uh, let's try that. See if the bot have that programmed in there. Yes, it is. That is Errol's link to Van City Adventures. And then I have Justin and Christina. That's theirs. John, JD, oops, JDS. I think I've got you in here, obviously. Pop them in there. And Ronnie Braun is probably somewhere lurking. Oops, I spelt that wrong. I've got you guys all programmed in here. Isn't that nice? I'm right up on it. Yes, hello there, John. Well, what do you know? It all I have you all programmed in there. Works great. How you doing there, buddy? Are you still in the snow? Or did the groundhog die? You know that Stream Elements, they have loyalty points, but the only way to use it is if you use Stream Labs is a streaming software. I don't think it works with StreamYard. It doesn't work with EVMux, or it does work with Twitch, where you get like loyalty points, and that was fun. With the loyalty points, you could earn points and not trade like buy things with those points. You're shoveling 5.2 liter 318. I think that's the one I got. Tasha has the 5.9 liter 360. Okay. I didn't know what she had. I don't get to. I've just started following her, so I don't see too much of what she has. I don't even know what kind of van she has. But like I said, I just started uh, Twitch. With, is that now? I still never tweeted, Wayne. Uh, t- Tweeted is Twitter. Twitch another completely different animal, like TikTok. I don't go to those. I don't. I don't belong to TikTok, and I don't belong to Twitch. But you can do like interaction with your chat members. You can play games and stuff. Not necessarily a full like video game, but you can play games with your host and with the other chat members. You can earn, look, they call them loyalty points. And I did have that when I was running Streamlabs. And you could gamble. You could type in like gamble X amount of points, and you could try to earn more. You could roulette. You could play. Um, you could heist with other people. Everybody could join in and heist as pirates and what have you to game. And then you could trade your points in for like a small little video that would play for a 5-second video, or you could. I had merch that you could go buy T-shirts. If you got 100,000 points, you could go and get a T-shirt for free. Well, not free; it cost you 100,000 points. Um, what else? Whatever I had in the merch there, whatever I had set up, like a ball cap or a T-shirt or whatever have you. No jail. Yeah, heist was fun. Yeah, the pirates, you could all join in. Like one person would say, heist 200 points, and then other people could join in when they would do a heist 300, and then it would be like a group of pirates, and then the computer would come on and say, you guys have all attacked something, you're blundering this and that, and then it would come out at the end and say, so and so came away from that with like 3 or 4 times your money. Another one would come out, you didn't win any money. So it was quite fun. What happened here? We got some sort of. I wanted to see what. Oh, right now it's 26 degrees in Cancun. Oh yeah. What's her name? Passed away. 82-year-old Raquel Welch. And I went and commented on one friend's website who did a little tribute to Raquel Welch. Yeah, no kidding, John. I did get a burn on. You should see the rest of me. I'm probably gonna peel like an onion. It's 24 here right now. Oh wow, you're very close to where I've got 26 here. It says feels like 29. What a waste. Yeah, no kidding. She was well at that time when she did her movie of 1 million BC. It was called 1 million BC. I mean, I saw bits and pieces of that movie. By today's standard, it's like pretty crude, but there's one picture in there that she's mostly well known for. Was a sex symbol goddess at the time. She was married with 2 kids at that particular time too. But she was one of the hottest women of her day. But she just passed away, 82 years old. Do you, Do you tan, Wayne, or are you like my father who burns and then goes back to white? Yeah, I either got to keep up like a sausage in the oven or like on the frying pan. I gotta keep it up, and I can get pretty brown. But if I burn, I just go back to white if I don't keep it up. And like I said, when I was in Canada, I purchased a couple of big tubes of, well, whatever you could take on the airplane, of suntan, not suntan, whatever you call it. I didn't. They're still brand new, never opened yet. You were a sperm on her leg and trying to be born to make. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, she was a very beautiful lady. Well, she passed away at 82. You're probably at those times when she made the movie. You were probably just a kid. You were probably born then, but yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I should get back out into the sun actually if I want to get a tan going instead of blushing all the time, being red. I haven't heard from Ronnie Braun lately. He must be trying to get his diesel heater working. I think he said he's got two of them. One of them works, the other one's flooded. But I don't know about the flooding part. I've never ever heard of one being flooded. Maybe not enough. Well, not well. There again, the guy in Vancouver, that friend of mine, um, he had so much fuel going in there that yeah, it probably was like flooded. But there was so much fuel in there that when we took it apart, we tried to burn it out, and it was thick in there. It was just like wet inside the heat chamber. She married a pizza guy, really, probably some pizza guy that owns like Domino's Pizza or something, or uh, all the movie actresses and actors. They're rich. Oh, I see that my thing there that says thumbs up is it's free. It's all in capital letters. He owned three pizza shops. Holy! You mean just managed them, or did he actually have a business name like Little Caesars or Domino's or whatever pizza places are nowadays? It's my one of my friends in Medicine Hat. There, he owned a pizza place himself, and then when arcade games first came out, Pac-Man, he put a Pac-Man game in his pizza store. And it got to the point where that Pac-Man game made more money than his pizza store. So what he did was sold the pizza store and uh, bought an arcade, a full arcade with games that were all over the city. And I worked. That's what I did. I was fixing arcade games and pinball games, and that's was my job. Oh, he owned them. Okay, it was never about the money. Yeah. Well, even I don't. They showed a picture of when she was in her 80s. Like she even still looked pretty good for 80. Like my goodness. I was going to look up that movie, 1 million BC, and see what it's like. Like it's pretty archaic as far as, like they had big, huge turtles and stuff, or animals, dinosaur type things that they would fight. But that was all done, you know, way back when, before they had the stuff they have now, the AI and whatever. Can you hear the roar? The air conditioner's on. The microphone on this thing picks up very well. And I just learned tonight how to do. There's something with this EV Mux. There's something called projects and sessions. And a project is like a folder for sessions. You can have more than one session in a project. So I didn't really know what that was, and I was trying to figure out how can I copy one session from this, so I don't have to build the new session in the other one. I just duplicate it more or less. So I don't have to go through and build a screen the way I like it, the way I want it. But there was no, I couldn't find a way, so I just built it from scratch again. My DVD of that movie is all stuck together. Yeah, no kidding, Mr. John. Stuck together with what? Her other movies. They were showing on there what her career is, what she did, what the movies she did, and then other things that she had done, not necessarily all just movies, but other things. She had a good career. Huh. No indication of time on the Chiquita. That's what they call her. One guy that he said, when you walk down Playa del Carmen down Fifth Avenue, that's where they have all the different stores with all their stuff in there, with whatever, right from jewelry to trinkets and things, and they're all talking to you in Spanish to get you to come over and buy some stuff. And so I went over to one guy and I said, "Do you know how to get people to these? You're talking to tourists." I said, "Yeah, there's Mexicans here too, but uh, you got to call them over in English. Don't speak in Spanish, because they just walk by you. They don't even look at you. They just walk on by." All right, Justin and Christina, have a great evening. Have a great weekend coming up. And thanks for popping in and for all the info you gave. That was great. Uh, Love it. Love you guys. Thanks for popping in, brothers and sisters. And we'll catch you on the next one. Stay awesome. Uh, yeah, walking down Fifth Avenue, I said, just speak English and you'll get more attention, because everybody just keeps walking, head forward. They don't even look at them when they're, that's my observation. They don't look at you. So, and it doesn't matter. They're all out to scam you, every single one of them. It doesn't matter how good you think you know someone, and you think they're your friend. No, they're not. They're all out to scam you some way. Will I need some Kleenex? Yeah, what do they call those? Wet dream? All right, Mr. Johnny. It must be, well, you must have the same time I do, or very close to. Anyway, you got to get out and do that shoveling. Shovel your way out. Thanks for popping in there, brother. And make sure you show up on Sunday, 8:59. Yeah, that's right. You are. You're absolutely right because it's. I've been on for an hour and I started at 8. Hour and 1 minute. Yeah, they asked me if you want something. Oh, what are you looking for? We got it. We got it here. Come over here. We got whatever you want. And I said, I'm looking for Chiquita. And they said, we got that for you too. Come on over. And I said, no, you don't. You have Chiquita, all right. Well, they probably do. One guy comes over to me and he says, weed, want some weed or some blow? I said, hey, you got to go to Canada. There it's legal. Here it's illegal. You'd have no problem. But then if it's legal, you wouldn't be selling it on the street because you could just go to your corner store and buy it. So the screen that you guys see for me is smaller than a quarter of of my laptop screen size. So you can see how small that is. Less than a quarter of the size of my whole screen is what you guys can view as full screen if you like. And if you're on a 50-inch TV and blown up full size, well that's huge. The only thing about TV is it's pretty hard to type check unless you got some way of hooking a keyboard up to it and type. Otherwise, you're with your remote. You know, you're going click 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 click, trying to get the letters. It takes forever to put a sentence in. Gotta go, Bruce. You have a great evening, brother, and whatever's left of it. You have a great weekend, my friend. Stay awesome, bro. Thanks for commenting on the videos. I see you pop in every once in a while and say your thumbs up or whatever you got there. Thank you. And it is saying that there's, yeah, see, I never believe the numbers, whatever that's, it's never right anyway. Sometimes I see there was 3 people in the house and it showed 0. Hey, Philly, how you doing? Now, I think I have you programmed in here. Let's just see. I'm trying to get everybody in here. Oh, Bruce was in here. Uh, I didn't put his I didn't put his link up there. Yeah, Philly, there you go. Your link is there. It does work. So it what do you know? I don't know why. Okay, Bruce's didn't pop up. What? Viola. Viola. Voila. Armchair. Did I spell it correctly? Yes. I don't know why I don't have it programmed in there. I will have to work on that one. Philly, you know Andy, right? Maniac or mechanic or whatever his channel name is. I forget the wording, but he's from across the pond there. And somebody was who was it? Paul Wakey RC. He was talking about. He said he typed in he's going to leave and have some Yorkshire pudding with beef gravy and what have you. And he typed it in, and I just said Yorkshire because that's how it's spelt, I guess. Then he says, no, it's not pronounced Yorkshire pudding, it's Yorkshire pudding. So then Andy came on, and he actually phoned me on the phone, FaceTiming on the phone, and he says, it's Yorkshire pudding, and this is how you make it, blah, blah, blah. He told me how to do it. So I went out and got some stuff to make it, the proper pan or what. I guess it should be more like a cupcake size pan, but I just bought a big one. So I'm going to have if I figure it out, my first attempt will probably be not so good, but I'm going to attempt one and see what it's like, and then make some gravy go on it and vegetables or what. I didn't know that the edges puff up, but the center stays not so puffy. So I'm going to have to look at that and see if I get it right. And the idea is to get the pan really hot to begin with. Oil, put some oil in there and get it hot so that it's almost smoking. And then you pour your batter in that, and then nobody ever said how long you cook them, but from what on YouTube, it looks like you cook it in the oven again for like 20 minutes after. You start out, you put the pan in there, get it really hot, or on the burner and get it really hot. Then you pour the batter in, not very thick either, just a thin layer of batter. And when the pan is hot, and then you put it in the oven for another 20 minutes, and that should make your. And then he gave me a history on why they make that pudding. It's for like your people that they didn't have any money, they didn't have any food, so that the Yorkshire pudding is easy to make. Just milk, flour, and eggs. Almost equal. Paul was telling me equals amount of each, but Andy said his recipe is equal amount of milk and eggs, but then double that for your flour. So I don't know. I have to go on YouTube before I make mine and see what the combination is. So Philly, I think I am going to shut my channel down here. Um, I've had a good run tonight. I just popped up again from an undisclosed location. That comes from some guy that I used to watch every now and again. No worries, my friend. Thank you. Stay awesome, my friend. Be cool. And I'm going to be up on Sunday if you happen to be around on Sunday at noon my time, and my time's right now at 8. No, it's 9, 9, 10, 10 after 9 right now, my time. And I come up Sundays all the time anyway at noon. That's regulars. And then if I'm not doing anything or twiddling my thumbs and playing on the computer, I might as well go live and talk to people and see what's going on. And it was like an open discussion today anyways, whatever you wanted to talk about. And you're in the same time zone. Yeah, there's quite a few people in the same time zone as me. today. John from JDS Flying Canuck, he was here. He's in the same time zone. Um, I'm not too sure about Justin and Christina. They were here. They may be in the. I think they're in the same time zone also. So, all right, buddy. We will talk to you later. You have a great weekend, and thanks for taking the time out of your day to pop in and say hi at least, anyways. And we'll catch you all on the next one. Be cool, be kind, and stay awesome. All right, guys. Catch you next time.